Hi, thanks for tuning into the Sports Business Classroom Summer League postgame show from Las Vegas. Hi, I'm your host, Mario Morgan, here with John Costa, Courtney Combs, and James Houston, as we just watched the New York Knicks defeat the Boston Celtics 97-89. So, team, what's your overall thoughts about the game tonight?
I mean, when I look at this game, I look at it like this. This is a tale of two halves, right? In the first half, it was absolutely the Knicks. They came out extremely dominant. They were locking the Celtics up on defense, and in both quarters, they outscored them by 10 points. But on the other hand, when you look at the second half, that's exactly what the Celtics were able to do. They were finally able to hit those three-pointers. They were able to play some lockdown defense on their own, and they ended up ultimately outscoring the Knicks 28-17 in that third quarter so that they could get back into this game. And ultimately, they got a lot of contributions from their role player in that third quarter. But just like I said, really a tale of two halves in this game.
Thank you.
Yeah, I thought they played really great tonight, the Knicks, as they were dominant on the court. And one of the performers I thought who did really great tonight was Charlie Brown, as he scored 20 points in 20 impactful minutes, and he went from 10 to 16 from the floor at a 62% percentage, and he had 7 rebounds tonight with 1 block and 2 steals. Now, Charlie Brown, he's a playmaker on the court. He finds the open man, and he makes sure that he gets them that shot. He had 5 assists tonight, and he can play multiple positions now. He can handle the ball, and he can push the ball. You know, I really like how he thinks. Do y'all like how he thinks?
Yeah.
I think he did really great tonight, you know. He's not just a eye player, but he's a team player. He makes sure that the team is moving as a unit. You can tell that he brings the energy to the court and just raises the atmosphere. Like, you saw those fans out there. Like, they were, like, really extraordinary out there, like, going crazy. So when he's not on the court, it's okay, it's solid. But once he gets to step into the court, it's going crazy. He's bringing the atmosphere. The atmosphere just changes. And we know that he's a free agent. He's coming on to the Knicks, but we can tell that he cares more about winning with the Knicks more than his future. He wants to make sure that the Knicks are winning. Not just, oh, I'm coming on here to just more care about my future, hoping it takes me somewhere, but hoping that he wants to win with the Knicks, bring them to the next level.
Yeah, definitely. You mentioned Charlie Brown. Obviously, he played really good tonight. But another guy that I thought played really well was Trevor Keels. He's a guy at Duke. He was all-ACC team, all-rookie team, McDonald's All-American. I was really high on him at Duke. I think he's a great two-way player. He plays defense, gets out there, gets steals. He also runs the floor, big 3-and-D type guy. I'm really high on him. He signed a two-way deal with the Knicks earlier this year. I think he can bring that balance to them, especially when guys come out, get hurt. He can come in, fill that role, make those minutes play. So I'm really high on him. I think he played well. I also think Isaiah Roby. He was on OKC last season, season before. He played really well. He played 45 games, 2021, 2022. Played 61 games the next year with OKC. He's the kind of guy that can fill that role as well. He can jump in there. He can make plays. He's a big interior player, gets a lot of rebounds. So I think those two guys were key for them in winning tonight.
Absolutely, man. I mean, you guys brought up 2 great points, and then, talking about Isaiah, talking about Trevor, and then, you were talking about Charlie. But I want to kind of bring up the Knicks as a whole, man. I mean, their defensive intensity was like a subpar out there, man. They were early in the game, they were playing in the passing lanes, forcing the Celtics to just throw some silly turnovers, just unorthodox turnovers. And then in that first half, the Knicks got out to a 17-5 lead early, man. So that just dug the Knicks, dug the Celtics into a hole. That was just really hard to get him out. And then I like the point you talked about Charlie Brown. He came out hit his first 4 threes in the game. I'm not going to lie, though. We got to talk about his jumper because I don't know if y'all seen it. He shoots from the shoulder. He don't really shoot a regular jump shot, y'all. He look like Derek Fisher who's shooting from the shoulder, man. But you can't complain because it's going in. You know what I'm saying? It don't matter if it's ugly or pretty as long as it's a bucket.
Yeah, he was 5 from 9 from the three-point line. And in 30 minutes into the game, he had 27 points tonight, y'all.
Man,
27 points. That's extraordinary as a player and really great as he's going to show that into his career.
Let's dive a little bit more into the Knicks. And I got to start with Courtney. I see the shirt on. Tell us about it.
Yes.
Go on.
Jalen Brunson, as you can see, is on my shirt. Now, the Knicks are going to dominate this season. They have Dante DiCincenzo. They have Josh Hart. And the number 1 player, the best player I think who is Jalen Brunson. I think they're going to be a great asset this year, and especially with Charlie Brown, as he's going to be a great addition to the team, and their front court is going to be solid. And like the song says by Alicia Keys, these streets will make you feel brand new. When Jalen Brunson steps onto that court, he makes everything feel brand new. And the big lights will inspire you. He inspires everybody. He inspires me. He's a great player, and I just think that they're going to do really well this season.
Shout out Brunson, man.
Yeah.
I love that. Shout out Alicia Keys, too.
I kind of want to switch gears a little bit. You guys talked about the Knicks. I want to go ahead and talk about the Celtics tonight.
Please, go ahead.
Obviously, they started out bad. They were kind of bite them in the butt going all the way down to the end. They fought hard, though. They made it a close game towards the end. A couple guys I want to bring up. Delonte Bonton. He's a real guy. He was out of Western Kentucky, transferred in, came in, and obviously undrafted. But he was a real guy for them. He played really well, especially Jay Scrubb. He was another guy. He had 18 points in the last game. Tonight he came off the bench, had 16 points. He's another guy who I'm high on. He's a JUCO guy. He went to John A. Logan College. You guys probably don't know what that is. That's a junior college.
Yeah.
So he was kind of went unnoticed. Another undrafted guy. He averaged 21.9 points per game his sophomore year. And that's even in JUCO, that's really high.
Yeah.
That's a really high number. He played 18 games with the Clippers, and then he was waived due to a season-ending injury. He signed with the Lakeland Magic, played in the G League for a while. But I feel like him coming in, even off the bench in Summer League, he was key for them tonight. Coming off the bench, getting points, getting easy open shots, running the ball in transition. He was a real addition for them tonight. And I definitely want to mention him on the Celtics because I feel like without him, they are not really in this game tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely, great point talking about Delonte Banton and Jay Scrubb, but we also can't forget about J.D. Davison, man. He was the point guard out there. He was the playmaker, setting his team up. I'm talking about, you talk about Jalen Brunson, right? A guard that comes off the screen looking for his teammates. That's exactly what J.D. Davison was doing out there.
Nice.
And I got to talk about Jordan Walsh, right?
Definitely.
That's the Celtics' guy. That's everyone in the arena. He was getting Jordan Wall's chance out there. He ain't even did nothing to prove it. But what I want to talk about is the fact that every other game in Summer League, he's been a monster offensively. This game, he was a bit slow offensively, but what he did bring was that same defensive intensity.
Yes.
And what I loved and what I seen out there was the fact that his teammates, if they were sluggish, if they weren't bringing that defensive intensity, he is on their butt, picking them up. If you see the best player diving on the floor, what you gonna do? Not dive on the floor?
Right.
You gotta dive on the floor. You gotta get out there.
Yeah.
So I just want to talk about how contagious his defensive energy is.
Mm-hmm.
He's picking up players at half court every time. And then the Celtics, I gotta talk about their adjustments. And we talked about in that first half how they got blown out in the first quarter and second quarter. But they made the adjustment in the third quarter. They switched to a zone, which messed the Knicks up, which, like I was telling y'all, the Celtics ended up outscoring the Knicks 28-18 in that third quarter. But like how we said, man, unfortunately, they just dug themselves a hole, and they couldn't get out of it. And they did all they could, but it was just too little too late.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. So we've been we've had a full week in the books in Vegas here at Summer League. What's your overall thoughts so far? What stuck out to you the most this past week of Summer League?
I think that what stuck out to me the most was all the players. I think every player here did an extraordinary job. They came here wanting to show their skill, wanting to show off what they can do, especially those who play for the G League, like to show that they can have that spot to have more minutes when they play for the NBA.
Right.
So I think that was really impressive just to see those ones who came in from the G League into coming out here and playing their butts off tonight. They did a really great job.
Yeah, what stuck out for me is just the energy. All the fans in the arena, they're high on each of their respective teams. Even guys are cheering there for their other teams that aren't their favorite teams out here. They're going for these teams. It was fun, man. I ain't never been to Summer League. I don't know if you guys have been here before, but just having the energy in this crowd, feeling that kind of even got me a little hype. I was like, oh, I'm happy to be here. I mean, I got a favorite team. I was watching other teams play. I was just happy to see them play. So that's what stuck out to me today.
Yeah, the energy was huge, man. I definitely love the energy and everything out there. Love seeing the fans. It's just, I'll say this, man. If you a basketball junkie, you got to come to Summer League, dog. You could finish one game at the Cox and then go to the Thomas Mack, and then once that game finished, go to the Cox again. So I love Summer League for a hoop junkie like me. But overall, I'm excited to see how some of these top performers like Keontae George, Max Christie, Orlando Robinson, how their game is going to translate to the NBA. Because, yes, they were doing their stuff out here, but we all know official roster is a whole different game. So I want to see if they're going to be able to crack that rotation and make a name for themselves. But overall, I'm excited. This is a new generation, new talent coming into the league. Let's see who's gonna make a name for themselves.
Now, I know y'all said y'all enjoyed the energy, but which gym did y'all enjoy, in the Thomas Mack or the Cox Pavilion?
I'm gonna be honest, okay? It has to be the Cox. The
Yes.
Thomas Mack. They needed to turn down the AC in there.
Yeah.
It is way too cold in
They
that gym. I cannot be in there.
Freezing.
Yeah, you just can't be in the Thomas Mack with a regular T-shirt unless you're playing. So I have to be in the Cox. That's my vote. What you got?
Oh, yeah, man. Cox, I mean, it's a smaller arena, but that is always jam-packed filled. I was in there earlier today. I didn't even find a seat at first. Everyone was there packed
Gotta
in.
get in there early, dog.
I mean, it may not be as many people in there, but that place was packed. The energy was flowing.
For
it was
sure.
hard to find a seat. I mean, everyone was in there. They were standing up. They were cheering. It was that energy from me. I mean, nothing against Thomas and Mack, but, Cox Pavilion was where you had to be today.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with you all, too. The Cox Pavilion is really packed all summer league. Like, it was just packed all the time in the gym. I'm like, dang, what happened to Thomas Mack? Like, nobody in there. But they were just bringing the energy in there. The players in there, too. All the games in the Cox Pavilion, it was just powerful.
Which one you like the most?
Oh, I enjoy the entire vibe. But the Cox is the old school. The Cox is the old school. It feels like you in Hoosiers where the crowd on top and everything else too.
Yeah.
So it's definitely a vibe. The Thomas and Mack, so you can tell that the players, they feel the atmosphere. They feel those fans. A lot of them play from JUCO or other schools. They haven't played in front of that many fans. So when it's a packed crowd in there, you see the players react more negatively or positively to the environment. It's more of an NBA environment in Thomas and Mack. But yeah, the Coxes are the old school pickup gym. This is the high school gym. When you're on the recruiting trips and you're standing in the line, getting a popcorn, and you almost stand in the crowd. Yeah, so it's a whole different vibe. But I love them both.
And shout out my boy Mello and Cayenne. I just seen them over there at the Cox. So
Okay.
two legends, man.
Definitely. Well, thank you again for tuning in on behalf of James, Courtney, John, and myself. Again, we're reviewing the New York Knicks defeat the Boston Celtics 97-89. This is a Sports Business Classroom Summer League post-game show. Thanks for watching and have a good night.